All right. Hi, everyone. Let's get started with the August 2021 OpenZFS Leadership Meeting. Don't have too much on the agenda today, so we'll have lots of time for Q&A or other topics. The main thing that I wanted to mention was that the OpenZFS Conference will be happening again this year. It'll be online again, November 8th and 9th. I think that Mark talked to you all about it a little bit last time, so we decided to do online only as we did last year. The registration is now open. It's free again, and the call for presentations is open. So if you've been working with ZFS, doing some development, using ZFS and discovering how it works, or anything else, and you want to share your experience, we'd love to hear about it. Send me an email by September 3rd. So you have about a little more than 2 weeks to get your proposals in. Not too long, so put it on the top of your to-do list. My email address is on the main OpenZFS webpage, and all the dates are on there. Yeah, so we'd love to see you all attending and presenting and sharing your work with us. Any questions about that? All right. Well, we hope to have a few presentations about the ZFS on Object Store work that the Delphix team has been working on. Hopefully, there'll be some stuff in there that's interesting, even if you have no need of ZFS on Object Store, because we've kind of taken some experiences from the data structures and algorithms that we use in the kernel, and kind of redone a bunch of them for other aspects of the Object Store and the cache that's used with it. So hopefully we can kind of share that and kind of compare and contrast and maybe learn from what we've done there and take some of that back to the core ZFS as well. Cool. Well, I think that was the only thing that was in the document. What other things would folks like to discuss today? If not, this is going to be a really quick meeting.
I guess earlier today, Mark, maybe and I were discussing the VDEV property stuff. I've rebased it and we've decided it's past the work in progress stage now, so we're ready for people to look at it.
Yeah, and I pinged a few folks on that as well.
Cool. I received your ping. I'll take a look.
All right.
Yeah, so that's the stuff I presented back in, I guess, 2018 and 2019 at the summits, but extended with Mark's stuff to do basically queuing for device removal, or be able to set the no allocating flag on a VDEV.
Cool. So that's one PR that has like the infrastructure,
all the properties, including Mark's,
and then also the no alloc property. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So I guess one question is that a good possible short talk for the upcoming summit to mention that work?
Yeah, I think maybe that was a question for Alan. But yeah, I mean, I would. Oh,
I thought it was.
I would welcome a submission.
For both, I mean, I talked about with Alan already. He thought, we could.
Okay. Yeah.
On that.
I mean, I don't think it would be, as you said, it would be probably a short talk just to let people know of this new functionality.
It's actually here now.
Yeah.
It was very prototype. Like I think in 2018 it was an idea. In 2019 it was like we have kind of a prototype, but now we have something that
hopefully we'll have landed.
Yeah.
Right. Hopefully we'll have landed by the conference. So that'll be nice.
Yeah.
And then I guess maybe I could do another short one on the speeding up ZFS list for snapshots. That's a PR I've had out for a while. I need to look at that because I think it was tickling one of the tests and making it complain, and I haven't had a chance to dig into that yet. That was extending a patch Paul Doedek did like a decade ago or so in FreeBSD, but making it work for more properties than just the name of the data set, so that you can sort by you can't get the creation date, but you can get the transaction it was created in, which, you know, will result in the same sort order, which is the important thing, because only being able to list the snapshots quickly if you sort them by the name, obviously is less helpful when you're trying to do things like figure out replication, where you need to know the snapshots in chronological order.
Cool. Well, one question that I had for this group of folks was, it's been a few months since we added the additional maintainers for the project, and wanted to see how folks feel that's going. I know like a bunch of things have landed, but we have, we still have tons of outstanding PRs. So I guess the question is like, are PR submitters getting the feedback that they need to, get their work integrated, or, get the feedback that they need of what changes need to be made?
I suppose I feel like you get more feedback on some of them.
That you would like more feedback?
Yeah, like I think for forced export, I don't really have a roadmap of what else needs to be done to get it to be ready to merge.
All right.
And I guess the same thing for the Linux namespace support. I think there's one open question about what happens when the namespace goes away. What does ZFS do about it? And I don't know that I have a good answer to that. But other than that, I think that one could use some more feedback. Although I know, half of my pull requests are waiting on me, and the other half are not, and I can't complain. But
oh, that's all right. I mean, I think that it's reasonable to, bring attention to the things that need attention, and to ping reviewers or ping the assignee, the maintainer that's been assigned to it, to get that feedback. Yeah. So we can. I'm looking for the export one.
export
Oh, here,
is
this one,
11082.
Oh, there's another one, 12468. Test merge update of Clara's force export work.
Oh, is that somebody rebased that or something? What was the number? Sorry,
12468 from C. Wedgwood. Looks like maybe.
Well, they're just trying to kick the builders again.
All right. Does this other one need to be? It looks like the other one needs to be rebased.
Yeah.
But
I think
it's just like
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, but it looks like the conflicts are not in. I mean, they're not in the source code files, anyways. So
right.
Should be fine.
Yeah, it looks like I last rebased it 27 days ago.
Yeah.
But the PR is from what, last October? Yeah.
Yeah, but this is it's should be done and it is ready for review. Is that right?
Yes.
Cool.
I can say about PRs that I can't complain as of today, since I got last 6 of my patches committed just today. But I can say that it took close to a month of pinging both reviewers and maintainers to get it pushed in. So I can't say that it got much better or faster. It's still pretty slow. And of course, reviews are important parts, but even some patches, even after review, hanged for a week or two. I forgot, two probably. So it could probably be more organized and go faster somehow.
Sounds like maybe we're doing as well. The four of us working together are doing as well as Brian did on his own.
We're a quarter Brian each.
Yeah. Well, you probably have a quarter of the time to spend on it that Brian did. I think he's not here to take our compliments, but hopefully he'll see this and he'll watch it later. Yeah, so I agree. I mean, I think that we could definitely do better. I'm glad that some things at least are getting in. But I agree that some of these things that have been open for a while and ready for review for a while, we could do a better job at getting feedback on those, because they tend to fall through the cracks, when they're not on the first page anymore. They're just sitting there, and they're surrounded by a bunch of other PRs that maybe are not ready for review, and so they may get lost. So we could definitely do better at that, and I think we need everyone's help, right? We need the PR submitters reminding reviewers and maintainers, and we need maintainers reminding reviewers and everything else. So I know I've been a little distracted the past month, so I have not been doing a lot of code reviews or bugging of people, but I hope to get back to that soon. Cool. And the force export work in particular, I'm interested in, and Alexander, I definitely appreciate all the performance work you've been doing. A lot of it is, as you know, things that I've touched in the past or worked on or run into. So thanks for pushing all those things through to completion. Cool. Other comments on the development workflow? Right.
Well, I guess kind of speaking of pushing things through or whatever, something we talked about last month, a couple of these I thought we've talked about so much, I thought they were done already. But we talked about changing some of the defaults, like enabling LZ4 compression by default on new pools, which I thought we agreed on like 2 years ago at a conference, and then it's just nobody's ever opened a PR to do it, I guess. But we talked about possibly changing the default for compression to on, X adders to SA, where that makes sense, changing the default block size for ZVols from 8K to 16K, especially in, and possibly if it makes sense for the default A shift to be 12 instead of 9, since the cases where you need 9, you need 9, so you could set it, but maybe the default should be higher. And if it is, then that means the ZVol default probably really does need to change. And then how do we communicate with users about changing all, 4 pretty major defaults?
Yeah, those are good questions. And yeah, I mean, for some of those, we just need to open the PRs. The changing the default block size landed, I think, today.
Did.
Okay. The default vol block size to 16K. So maybe we can, that's like probably one of the safer ones to do. So maybe we can look at what the feedback is from that once it hits users. Although I guess that might not be for a while, since it probably won't go out to users until the next major release.
Right. I imagine the compression defaulting to on is pretty safe as well.
Yeah, I think compression defaulting to on is pretty safe. I think of those that you mentioned, the default A shift feels the most questionable.
Okay.
But maybe that's just because, like, in the world that I'm actually operating in, like, we mostly have A shift 9.
Mm-hmm.
But Yeah, I mean that I wouldn't rule it out. I mean, it's you know, it is supposed to be automatically detected. I would say
Right.
like if there was a way to say if we can't automatically detect it, then default it to 4K. Like that would make sense. But but saying like, oh, the disk says it has A shift 9, but we're just going to use A shift 12. Like that seems
Yeah.
potentially not great.
Yeah, and there's also this with a corner case, the disk reports A shift 9 or 12 is supported. So which one do we choose?
Yeah.
On FreeNAS and TrueNAS, we force everything to 4K from perspective of disk replacement, because sometimes some customer may have 9, but then have to migrate to 12 just by replacing disks. From that perspective, we switched it to 12 quite long ago, years
Yeah.
ago actually. But from point of small deployment of somebody's laptop, from point of space efficiency, of course, A shift 9 is much better. I don't. Also, in case of RAID-Z or D-RAID, difference could be quite significant, but I don't know how many people try to store small objects on wide RAID-Zs. Make it important.
Yeah, I agree. Those are all good points. All right. Other topics or questions? That's gonna be a quick meeting. Everybody's taking time off in the summer. I know I am. So maybe that's why we don't have quite as much stuff today. Hopefully next meeting we'll have more news on the OpenZFS conference front. Actually, is that right? I don't know if we'll have speakers selected by then, but it'll be close. Oh, we should. So the next one should be the 14th of September. So we should have the agenda by then.
Yeah, that's after the abstract submission deadline.
Yeah. Yeah, and registration is open, so feel free to go through that. I think the format is going to be probably the same as last year in terms of the kind of technologies that we use. So like you'll need to register to get the Zoom link, otherwise you can watch it on YouTube. If folks have feedback on things that worked or didn't work that they didn't give last year, then you know, now would be the time. Now would still be a good time to give that if you'd like to see something happen differently in terms of like how we do the conference, run the conference, the technology and the tools and stuff. It seemed like people liked the like Zoom breakout room socializing aspect of it. So that was nice.
Yeah, I think like the little Q&A sessions in between worked quite well.
Yeah. I think we could probably do a better job of organizing the hackathon than we did last year. I think that's always kind of a challenge to get new folks involved in that when they're just coming, you know, when they're just seeing a few people's faces on Zoom. It's tough to pull them in. So maybe if you have some topic that you're interested in that you'd like to kind of pull in new folks and maybe educate people on, I think that those kinds of things would be great for the hackathon, where we can have you know, expert-led sessions, or maybe not even expert, but like sessions led by somebody who can kind of direct other people and help them get started and kind of know what to do. Give them a good like, hey, come to this session. I'll give you something to I'll give you something to do, and you'll be able to hack on ZFS for a day. So if a few people went to lead those kinds of sessions, that would probably be helpful for the community. All right. More questions or topics? All right. Well then, we'll see you all in 4 weeks. I think that will be the earlier time on September 14th. It'll be at 9 o'clock Pacific. And yeah, think about what you would like to talk about at the conference and send me an email. I think if you don't remember, the conference was very well attended last year despite being online. So I expect that we'll, hopefully we'll have as many, if not more people. And so it's kind of up to the kinds of folks who attend this meeting to, share the work and provide the content. Obviously, we have a bunch that we'll try to share from the Delphix team, but we'd love to hear from other people as well. So I look forward to your emails, and I'll see you again in 4 weeks. See you, everyone.
Thank you.